2023, 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Flag salute. Can you please stand up? And John, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alex, can you roll call?
Sure. Newman.
Present?
Aniesco Garcia.
Present.
Sue Chung.
Here.
Ellen John.
Present.
Kevin Lim.
Hold on. Here.
Rebecca Lee.
Present.
Anthony Kim. William Kim.
Here.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Dr. Cirillo.
Present.
John McCann.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975, I hereby state that adequate notice of this regular meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated January 15, 2023. Date of published notice. The meeting notice has been emailed to all staff members at the district's 3 school locations, communicated to at least one of the board designated newspapers, filed with the board clerk of Palisades Park. Now, we are going to review and discuss resolutions to be voted on at the regular meeting. Okay, let's just start with the finance. William Kim, please.
16 items open up to discussion and questions for Dr. Cirillo.
Any other questions?
Number 8, so I want to bring the board's attention to number 8, before there are, I guess, questions. And I'm glad Ms. Rebecca Lee, did point this one out. So if the board members can reflect number 8 on finance, please. The third item in that resolution says Englewood School of Choice. We currently have 38 students attending that program. Englewood is not an academy. Bergen Technical Schools are academy programs. Englewood is a school of choice. We are responsible, just like every other school in Bergen County, to provide transportation for those students. It is budgeted by way of a contract issued to our Board of Education for 38 students to go to Englewood, the amount of $196,560 for a full year. Because they are a choice program, we and every other school district who sends students can provide something called aid in lieu. In lieu of transportation, we provide a payment to the families. That rate is determined by the Department of Education. That rate is $1,165. Although I don't want to be rash in a decision tonight and pull the plug on those 38 families and transportation, I do want to make the board aware that if we provided aid in lieu for the full year to Englewood, it would be approximately $44,000, not $196,000. We have a fiscal responsibility to be smart, but we also want to be compassionate to the families that are going there. So, because that number is so high, and we are devoting a full bus, we are not sharing that route with another school district like we do with other of our other routes. My recommendation is that we should consider, effective January 1, 2024, we provide a prorated amount to the families that would give them the next few months to figure out a way, means of transportation. There is no restriction against us to do so. I spoke to the bus company. I have yet to sign any contract with them for the year. Okay, this is budgeting our dollars and being fiscally responsible, in my opinion.
So just public district provide to the school of choice, is that the state, Jersey State, or it's just solely defer to our board decision?
So Englewood Academies, they were referred to as the Englewood Academies, they no longer are Englewood Academies, they're Englewood School of Choice now.
So what kind of students can go to that school?
Any student, they can apply just like they do to Bergen Technical Schools and they can be accepted. They're a choice program, they accept students from throughout the county of Bergen.
So any students can want to go like a private school like the Holy Angels schools?
No.
Can we
No, that's a private school. This is a public school. This is Dwight Morrow High School.
Mhm.
Students are going to Dwight Morrow High School in Englewood. They are a choice school. They will accept students. We are not responsible for tuition. Englewood receives money from the Department of Education for the students who go to school there.
So
We
the
are
parents
responsible
pay
for
the tuition for
transportation.
that school?
No,
Students do
for-
not pay. The Department of Education compensates Englewood Board of Education for the students. We do not receive the funding for those students. They are not our students. But we are responsible for transportation. We are now able to provide aid in lieu. In place of transportation, we have to provide them with a payment. If we don't provide transportation, we have to issue a payment. 38 students times $1,165 is somewhere in the neighborhood of $44,000.
Is that
So-
figure that you're quoting, is that governed by New Jersey state law?
That $1,165 was issued to me from the State Department of Education. That is determined by.
In terms of what would be, the amount that would be provided to the families in lieu of that amount, is that governed by New Jersey state
Yes,
law?
it is.
Okay.
Yes. The question becomes, if we prorate the duration instead of the full year, are we responsible for a full payment of $1,165 or the prorated amount of the remaining 6 months? That is yet to be determined.
Right, we don't know.
But even if it was the prorated, if it was the full amount, there would still be a substantial savings to our district. Because in our finance meeting, as we discussed, even if we did a 5-month, this is 10-month window. If we did a 5-month window, half of 196,560 is 98,280.
Right, it's still,
January is not 5 months, January is 4 months. If we did 4 months, someone calculated 78,624. So if we did 78,624, and worst case scenario, we were responsible for the full $44,000, we would still be well below the 196,000. I still don't believe that we would be responsible for the full payment, because we provided transportation for 4 months. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Can I
Just
ask
to be
the
clear, I'm
number
sorry.
of the high school students?
I'm sorry,
Okay, number of high school students, 9 to 12. How many students we have?
38.
No. I mean, our school.
Or in the school district?
So I was prepared for that question, but not for the high school specifically. Currently, we have 1,759 in our district. Let's see who's quicker, me or that young man over there. Oh, of course, service unavailable. He's gonna win. He blocked my internet. I'm gonna give you a high school number shortly. But keep in mind, our high school,
Just locally.
roughly 7 through 12, I'm gonna say 650. 733, sorry.
From,
But that's
7
junior
through
high,
12.
not
there's a
high.
junior high, not the high. High is
9
like
through 12,
400.
Christian. I know we're not in public, but
So calculated that the 86 students is
Not
20% of the high school students are go to the other schools, and 10% goes to school of choice of our high school students, right?
and
So we have to pay the transportation for them.
we have to pay tuition and transportation for the other students. For a school of choice, we only pay transportation. I'm not sure what your question is.
Okay, what I'm saying is, okay, some students, okay, do not like the Palisades High School, can go this school of choice anytime and anywhere, and we pay the transportation.
you have to go through testing.
You have to be
apply
accepted.
They have to.
You have to be accepted. You cannot just go.
Yeah, of course, it could be accepted, yeah, I know, yeah.
And many
But
students-
anybody wants, with good record, they can go there.
We had 2 students move to Palisades Park from Englewood Cliffs over the summer that
Mhm.
were accepted from Englewood Cliffs, and now we're responsible for their transportation. This is common. I've seen this over the years. We've had kids move here from Demorest, from Northern Highlands. We've had kids get accepted into Bergen Technical Schools, move to Palisades Park, because they don't wanna pay the taxes in other municipalities. And now we are responsible for tuition and transportation. School of choice, we are just responsible for transportation.
So what if they're attending school of choice, and they move to a different district?
We are not responsible anymore. Bergen Technical Schools just started a campus at Old Penn. It's a new program.
I know, but the
Can't stop
Bergen
it.
Technical School have some limitation of number of school per town, right?
Correct.
But it
Per
looks
town,
like
until-
this school of choice doesn't have any limitation.
They
for
do
the
have it,
student,
Mr.
number of
Shin.
students.
When they move here,
Yeah.
they were not accepted from Palisades Park. I have fought that battle with the county multiple times. When they moved to Palisades Park, they were not originally accepted from Palisades Park. They were accepted from other municipalities.
They weren't accepted because we reached to the max.
Yes, ma'am. Chris, you have a number of 9 through 12?
489,
4, 8,
489.
8, 9, thank you.
So about the 8 or 9% of our high school students go to the school of choice.
No,
No, that's not right.
no,
38 by
less than 10%.
less than 10, no, 8 or 9%, that's
Oh,
what
I'm
I'm
sorry, I
saying.
misunderstood.
So number 9.
Yes, ma'am.
So high school construction, does that include the HVAC there? or
Yes.
Was that, I was really curious about what's happening the 2 weeks ago at high school has no AC.
High school will not have AC until, and what was discussed previously, until at best next spring or probably summer. The chiller was ordered, that is a 53-week lead time from when it was ordered. So there's no way to have air conditioning in the high school without a chiller. That was going over the boiler room, excuse me. We knew that going in. Fortunately, we were able to sustain the first few days of school. I think, a credit to the board members approving the calendar and the first 2 days being half days for students was very forward thinking, and yes, it was done for professional development of our teachers. But I'm grateful that many of the kids were home and hopefully a more climate controlled setting.
So was it unexpected or?
No,
was that-
I fully expected there to be no air conditioning until next year.
Okay, was that?
This building is done, I reported that last month.
Right, yeah.
Lindbergh has, their 3 boilers with no air conditioning, boilers for heat, pretty much getting to the finish line. And the high school, best case scenario, 2024, we will have air conditioning. When? April, May, June, could be October, I don't know. I'm not the contractor. Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, Mr. Shin.
Number 7, student activity account.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, the class is like, they have like 2,000, 3,000, but only the class of 2024, they have $12,000,
Are
which
we
is
looking at
5
the high
times
school
more
student
than the
activities, Lindbergh, which one?
The high school
Class of 2024.
has 12,000, while the other class have like 2,000 or 1,000 only, so I wanna
It's a
know
great
why
question.
the amount is so high.
It's because the class of 2024 is this year's graduating class. They have the most fundraisers that have been approved over the course of the last few years.
Mhm.
They accumulate a larger amount of money. They also have larger expenses. The prom is a very large expense for them. Senior class trips or activities. The younger students, the class of 2027, who is not even there yet, is a freshman class. They have yet to do any fundraising. They will start, and they will start with probably a bake sale, something small, but we don't like to give the larger fundraisers to the younger classes because they're payments to any vendors or programs is not as, necessary, significant as the older students.
Okay. And number 15, I'm sorry, but
Don't be
I
sorry.
have too many questions, but
okay.
I think this is the duty and my mission, okay? And this is the Palisades Park residents assigned to me to do this, so.
Yes, sir.
please understand.
Number 15.
Number 15, the resolution is contingent upon receiving ROD grant, right? So with no grant, okay, we don't need, we can replace.
I
The roof?
don't know that to be true, I wouldn't say that publicly, what I can tell you is I am in receipt of a press release. This is a press release, this is not an award letter. We submitted last year with approval from this board, a grant allocation amount, and we're awarded somewhere in the neighborhood of $434,000. This is free money from the state. We submitted a grant application, we got $434,000. I don't have it. The business office does not have it. I have a letter from the Department of Ed that says, you got it. Until I have it, I don't have it. We are saying we would like to fix the roof using that money, but I can't use that money unless I have that money. So the resolution is contingent upon receiving it. Can we fix it? Potentially, but I also don't wanna run our maintenance accounts into the red.
So the damage is not as serious as we
It's-
worried.
it's serious.
because
We
if
took in a
don't
lot
have
of
the
water.
money, we don't fix, we don't replace the roof.
We
then,
took in a lot of
is it
water
okay
again last
still?
week. We have significant damage, but I went to see Miss Min earlier this week. There's water leaks in her school as well. I apologize.
So
I'm
it's
paying
not
taxes.
contingency
I feel
then.
better when I
We
see
have
other
to
schools
replace
have the same problem.
anyway.
I'm sorry?
We have to replace the roof
Absolutely.
anyway, right?
100%.
With or without that, the grant, right?
Regardless if the grant is there or not, but we don't have to replace it if the grant's not there, we can repair it. If the grant's there and they wanna give me $400,000 to fix it, I'm gonna replace it. But if they're not gonna give me 400,000, I can only repair it.
Okay, so if we receive the grant, we replace it, otherwise, we just repair it with
That is
our money,
correct.
right?
That is correct.
Got it.
That's why there's the asterisk underneath that says the resolution is contingent upon receiving the grant.
And there was much speculation on whether I could even do that. I did confer with the Department of Education, and the purpose I did that, I spoke to the roofer, who is state contracted. And the plan here is, if tomorrow, the Department of Education issues us an award letter, we don't need a special meeting tomorrow, or it would be after advertising it. We wanna get this project done before the winter, because if we wait even one more month to the October meeting, this project is not gonna happen until the spring. I'm trying to be proactive, I'm trying to think outside the box. If we don't get the money, it doesn't mean we don't fix the project. It means we'll repair it, but not fully replace it.
Okay, one more question, number 16.
Yes,
To the
16.
Fort Lee School, additionally to the basic tuition, we pay a lot of amount as an additional service to Fort Lee.
There are
Can I
no
ask
additional
what the
services for
additional
those
services-
students.
I'm sorry?
No, they were. Fort Lee, there are additional services.
The basic tuition is $36,150 and the additional service is $32,080.
Yes, that's for one-to-one aid, that's for one-to-one aid and other additional services.
I apologize, I'm looking at the older version. So on the Fort Lee student, 2243764 student ID, they have a one-to-one aid as required in their IEP. We have to provide an aid, that is the additional service. 263171 student, additional services are both one-to-one partial aid and services required by way of the IEP.
Even with the old version, just the amounts are the same.
Correct.
So,
It was in the right.
they were, yeah, so we just had it on
Right.
all under base tuition, but it's the same amount as in the older version.
Correct, thank you.
I just don't have, not very familiar with the salary systems, number 14.
Okay.
So only the teachers of the base, their salary are paid by the grants?
So,
Like,
the preschool eligibility or preschool education aid, they are asking us who we are paying out of the grant. So clearly, you can see, people that are 100% paid out of grant are coming directly from the grant money.
Okay.
People that are getting paid 50%, or people that are getting paid 19.5%. Their full salary is not coming from the grant, it is from our general budget, but they need to know who is getting paid by way of the extra money we receive.
Okay, so it's a 50-50, it's a 50 from grant and 50 from our tax levy, right?
That is correct, or general budget, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
If I have a question about the bill list, should I ask now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Bill page number 3. We paid to Palisades Park Ed $6,000 twice.
I'm sorry, page number 3,
Yes.
and what is the item we are looking at?
$6,000 paid to the Palisades Park Ed.
I don't see that on
Page
page
3,
number
bill
3.
list, page 3.
I don't see it on page 3.
At the bottom.
Here's my page 3, I don't have. Page 3, $6,000.
If you change the version, I may not have it, but in the one I received on 20.
So this is a approval for athletic. This
Yes,
is for
right,
our
right.
athletic programs. It doesn't mean we're gonna use the full 6,000. We put an amount of money like we do annually into an account. Any money that's not used carries over into a winter season and or a spring season for sports. This is the athletic account.
So, but is it pending and that's the pending for the payment, right? For $6,000.
That money just gets transferred into that athletic account, and then they spend it as needed, based on whatever sports.
First Student is one of our providers for our sports.
Mhm.
So if we need more, we have to add more. If we don't use it, obviously, we would not add as much.
Okay.
So we're more or less encumbering from our transportation account into an athletic transportation.
Okay. And the second question is, we paid I raised this problem
What page, I'm sorry,
previously,
sir?
the Brown, the $1,000 to the Brown and Brown.
Yes,
That's the consulting fee we paying like every week, every month.
that is correct.
So $12,000 a year. I checked some other the towns and like Fort Lee hired Brown and Brown as an insurance agent. Okay, so they don't pay additional money to the Brown and Brown because the Brown and Brown is the insurance agent. But we have an insurance agent, and additionally to cover that, we pay additional $1,000 as whatever the compliance fee or whatever is. So this year is okay, but next year we have to think of again paying to the Brown and Brown additional money, $1,000 per month.
I'm not sure, are you asking me a question?
The Fort Lee is hired Brown and Brown.
I don't
as
make
a-
the recommendation on Brown and Brown. That was something the board decided. I cannot recommend advisors. That was something the board decided. That was not my recommendation.
Yeah, but Dr. Sidler, we discussed about this. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we know the history about the Brown and Brown. Okay. So
Yes.
I'm not asking you not pay to the money to the Brown and Brown, but because if it is absolutely necessary money or not, we have to reconsider again because other town doesn't pay this kind of money to the Brown and Brown. Okay. But only our town is paying. So
I don't know
we
if
have
that's
to
true.
think about whether
And I
it is
think if
extra
memory
money or
serves,
not.
we discussed this, I think it was in the spring, and the whole purpose.
So
of
this
providing-
year, I okay.
No, what I'm trying to explain is that they do serve a function, and the function that they serve does end up saving the district money. And, I believe it was their recommendation that we switch to the state plan, if I remember correctly, to the state insurance plan. So they have made recommendations, and they do charge us a lower fee than they do charge other towns. So I don't know if I agree with your assessment that we're the only district that's paying Brown and Brown. I don't know if
That's correct.
accurate.
I can get you a list of pensions, but
I
again,
think
it's not my
we were
recommendation.
provided with a list when we did before Brown and Brown, so there were multiple other districts that paid similar fees, and actually we pay a lower fee
Excess.
because we've been with them for so long, so we pay a lower fee than what other districts do.
So yeah, Brown and Brown is like an insurance agent. Okay, so
not their brokerage.
Insurance agent and insurance broker. So the other towns use Brown and Brown as like agent, so they don't pay the consulting fee, but for just our town is paying to the Brown and Brown, so we have to check whether it is absolutely necessary or not. This year we approved already, so there is no way to change it, but the next year I would like to ask you to consider again, okay? That's what I want.
I wasn't here.
Are we done with finance?
Any other
Moving on to
discussions?
Next topic?
Any comment or question? If you don't have, we are going to move to building and ground.
I'm sorry, one more question.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry too, but the yearly deposit is $20,000. We put the yearly deposit, right? What is the in bill list? What is that money?
So Shin, what page are we referring to and what item?
Page 6.
6? The list. Yeah, do it out loud.
Which item?
For the transportation, for the school bus service, I think, we paid like $20,000 as a deposit. So I just wanna know when we are getting this deposit back. Is the yearly deposit, so every year we deposit $20,000 as a deposit, and when we get refund those deposit money?
That is determined on that South Bergen Joint Share Commission, those are transportation provided for our special education out of district. In the event, we exceed, the amounts that I propose or the recommendation shows on the finance resolutions could fluctuate, it could go up or down, there could be inclement
Yeah,
weather
I
in the
understand,
winter and
yeah,
school
I
can be
understand.
closed.
Yeah.
Again, we are giving them a deposit, in the event we don't use all of that money, they're audited like we are, and they will refund us the money. The
So-
money will not go away.
Okay, so that, if there is any balance or from that deposit, they should refund that money,
Absolutely.
and we have to take that as an income, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or a credit to next year, because if we're using them as a service provider again, we would have a credit.
Was it happened before?
To the
Is
best
this
of my
first time too?
To the best of my knowledge, it probably has happened. I'm sure there has been situations where we approved payments for transportation and then COVID happened, and we did not use buses. No one was in school. I'm sure we were reimbursed a substantial amount of money if we made a deposit and or a credit was issued. The money does not go missing.
Okay. Okay, so we have to trace what will happen after
Alex?
year, right?
Yes, sir.
Gotta trace,
I'll trace.
Okay.
please. Let's see if we, make sure all of our encumbrances have been appropriately spent.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Other
I'm done. No more.
Okay, let's go to building and ground. Anthony Kim, please.
I have two items to be approved. First one's gonna be car wash sponsored by the senior class on Saturday, September 30th, this year. Next one is a scheduled PBA meeting every second Tuesday of every month, beginning in October through 2023 through next year, June 11th.
Okay, other question? Yes,
The PTA meeting schedule is in building department's work.
Is in the what?
The building department, number 2, PTA meeting schedule is in building department's work, but I don't think it's applied to that work, yeah. So it rather than like the,
It is in the buildings and grounds. They're using our building. They are requesting the use of our school for their meetings. It does belong there.
But you're renting out the space.
okay.
So I don't remember the calendar for 2024, so every night is not in the spring break, right?
April 9th, I will check right now, Miss.
It's April 1st to the 5th, I believe.
Yeah, it was a very early night next year, so probably it should be okay. Just just wanna make sure.
I'm sure we can always tentatively change the
Okay,
dates, but
sure.
I will check while we're here,
Thank you.
no problem.
Any other questions?
Our spring break this year is the 1st through the 5th, April 9th is okay,
Force to fix.
yes.
It's 7 o'clock, are we going into a regular session now, or do we have a session even though we haven't completed? No? Okay.
And we
Okay.
we reported as immediately following.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, if you don't have any question, let's move to, personnel.
I have two
Any
items on
other
consent agenda, appointment of staff. Do you have any questions?
You have any questions? Okay, I'm going to move to the, negotiate, curriculum. Mr. Lim, please.
Curriculum?
Uh-huh.
I have one item
Okay.
with consent agenda.
Okay, any other questions? If not, move to the negotiation, Mr. Kevin Lim.
If you don't have any, item for consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lim. Next one would be Polish, Ms. Agnieszka Garcia.
I have no report.
Okay, let's go on to, New Jersey School Board's liaison, alternate, Sujang.
I don't have a report to share.
Next, County School Board Rep, alternate Helen Chang, please.
Thank you, I don't have any report.
Okay. Next, School Safety and Security Committee, Agnieszka Garcia.
I just have a brief update, it's not really a report. By law, within the first 10 days of school, we are required to conduct evacuation drills. And I just want to report that those evacuation drills were conducted and successfully completed. And we are within compliance of New Jersey law.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Garcia. Okay, now we are going to close the work session and open the regular meeting. May I please have a motion to close the work session and open the regular meeting?
I'll make a motion to close and open the regular meeting.
Second,